of a test. Now, later on in 13:3, we're going to talk about how you're going to get some people that are going to come along. You want to go to 13:3?
Just roll with it, whatever.
And it's going to talk about that when somebody performs a miracle and tells you to pursue idolatry, because you mentioned idolatry, or to violate the Torah, we're not to listen to such a person. We're supposed to exercise our free will.
Right.
So this is an interesting point, because I hear this a lot. Christians will say, oh, Jesus performed miracles.
Yeah.
Jesus performed miracles.
Yeah.
And there's so many accounts of him performing miracles, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, he must be the Messiah.
Yeah.
Because he performs miracles. And there's so many witnesses that he performs miracles.
Right.
And they'll say to you, if Jesus were to come right now and perform a miracle for you, would you believe in Jesus? Right? Here is what you should not answer this. This is a trick question, okay? The answer to this question is not, no, he didn't. He never performed those miracles. That's not the answer. The answer is, who the fuck cares? That's the answer. If Jesus were to come right now into this room and perform miracles, right? And like the girl from 3G would show up right here in between. You ever seen that commercial?
Yeah.
Like he comes in, like boom.
Yeah.
It's like some girl that you really like. Shows up right here, right?
Or he made Rabbi Rab stop cursing.
Right, or something like that. Right? It's like, who fucking cares? It's got nothing to do with us. They say, I bet you Jesus not only performed all the miracles that are in the New Testament, he performed more than that. How about that? And you know what? We still don't fucking care. And this is why. Because God says right here in 13:3, I'm going to test you. I'm going to bring to you people who claim to be prophets or whatever, and they prophesize. And maybe some of their prophecies come true. But they're not a prophet. They're a false prophet because they tell you to go against the Torah. You don't listen to these people. Even if they perform miracles. It doesn't matter. They're not the Messiah. Just follow the Torah. You get free will. You have the Torah. Torah tells you what to do. Tells you who the Messiah is. Tells you what a prophet is. Those are the people you follow. Some idiot comes along. He starts doing, wine and turning wine into water or whatever the fuck he did, right? That's not.
Water into wine.
You can watch him do that all day. It doesn't impress us. Doesn't impress. Sorry, that's so last year. That's what you tell the guy. He said, that's last year. Right? He brings like frogs and blood. Done that.
He made a lame man blind. No.
Well, that's. But that's the point. Yeah. We don't care about miracles.
We don't follow miracles. We don't follow miracle workers.
Doesn't
if they tell us to go against the God of Israel and His Torah.
Right.
I love this pasha. I just love Devarim, and I love this pasha, and I love chapter 12, verse 4. You should not do this to Hashem, your God. Like that's how Judaism works. It's not like you convert to Judaism. You convert to Judaism through very specific rabbis, and then the most powerful break on your natural behavior is you don't want to do this to, your sponsoring rabbi or the rabbis on your Beit Din or the rabbis that you've grown close to or the Jews you've grown close to. You don't want to do this to them. That, like, if you're married, you don't want to show up in public with uncovered hair or wearing pants, or you don't want to drive on Shabbos, or go eat at McDonald's in a frum neighborhood in particular. You don't want to do this to them. And Moses is saying to the Israelites, don't break the mitzvahs. Don't do this to God who brought you out of Egypt, because Jews and God have a very intimate and interconnected long relationship. And don't do this to God. It's so personal. Don't do this to God. Like let's say Rabbi Rabs has saved your life in some respect, and don't do this to Rabs. Don't go hurting Rabs. He did. He taught you the things you need to hear on Torah talk. So don't go hurting Rabs. I love chapter 12, verse 8. Now, don't do what you think is right in your own eyes. Like people today, they say, follow my conscience. Don't follow your conscience. Follow the Torah. Well, follow your conscience if it coincides with the Torah, and it's been molded by the Torah, and refined by the Torah, and sensitized by the Torah, and not every situation you meet in life where you immediately you have to go, oh, what's the halacha? You won't always be able to do that. So there is room for conscience, but don't choose conscience over Torah.
Right. In fact, I would say that if you're going to lean one way or the other and you don't know the halacha, don't follow your conscience.
Yeah.
I would say don't follow your conscience. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Okay? Because your conscience, is driven by the Yetzer Hara.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It knows the whole Torah is going to try. Cause it left to your own devices. You don't know the halacha. The Yetzer Hara is always going to win.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to think you're doing the right thing. You're doing the wrong thing. And you know what? I talked earlier about, in the very beginning of the start of the show, I talked about how there's another religion called secularism.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, like conscience stuff,
Yeah.
Like don't hurt other people and everybody
Yeah.
should get along. Left to your own devices, you're going to be a liberal. It's like, oh, there's the gays are marching, good for them, who am I to judge, right? Oh, let's be tolerant. Let's be...
My workmate is gay and he's so sweet, so who am I to say that he can't get married?
Right, and let's show a little diversity here, and let's have a little open mind and conscience and stuff, right? So left to your own devices, you might actually say, oh, you know what? Same-sex marriage should be okay. I'll vote against Proposition 8, and let the gays parade anywhere they want. Let them go right in front of the co-cell. That's what you're gonna do.
Right.
That's where your conscience is gonna lead you.
You might say, look, it's not gay if I beat him up afterwards.
Okay, that's a little weird.
I love chapter 12, verse 20. If you follow the mitzvah, Hashem your God will broaden your boundary. I wonder if he's saying, like, Greater Israel here. Says Hashem your God will broaden your boundaries. He spoke to you, so...
Yeah, I think so. That actually is true, but it's back then.
I don't think God would say, if you follow my mitzvah, I'm going to shrink Israel, so it's even more difficult to defend. But if you follow my mitzvah, you make a righteous society, I'm going to help you expand.
What number is that?
Chapter 12, verse 20.
20.
Another possible interpretation is that if you follow the mitzvah, God won't feel the need to restrict more of your options, but I'll give you instead more options.
Oh yeah, it said Ramban says that God is going to give to you the land of the Goyim. But here's the thing. Haim Sheva Hagoyim Shiyaskir B'Kol Makom. It's the Canaanim. This is a one-time pasuk. This verse only applies when the Jews entered Eretz Yisrael the first time, when they came out of the desert. And he's saying, I'm going to give you all their land of the 7 nations of Canaan. No, that doesn't apply today because we already did that.
According to the ArtScroll commentary on this verse, revisionist history is not a new phenomenon. Seekers of novelty often find glamour in lifestyles that have been completely discredited. So don't try to resurrect the Canaanite way of life. Also, back to chapter 25, and let me just take that off the
Chapter
hook.
25?
I mean, verse 25 of chapter 12, about when you do what is right. While it is, according to the ArtScroll commentary here, while it is commendable to look for intellectual or emotional justifications for the performance of the commandments, these are only aids. Should never become the main reason for obedience to the Torah. The essential intention must be to obey God. So I think it's cool, and this ArtScroll commentator says, hey, it's cool to look for intellectual and emotional reasons for fulfilling the mitzvah, but in the end, the main reason is God said so. So that's kind of a nice nice combination of the topic that we discussed, and like, yeah, I'm really into trying to understand